Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is kind of one that's been requested, and now it's one that I need to make because it actually applies to my real life. I've always said that loving an addict is so much harder than being an addict, and I mean that. It's hard. It's hard to watch someone basically kill themselves in front of you. It's hard to worry. There's lots of fear and stress, and it's tough. So I had a friend that they're in early recovery, and I started to sense that something wasn't right. You know, you might be in a position much like I was. They don't look quite the same. Maybe they're not sounding the same. They're doing different things, like maybe money's going missing. Maybe they're not attending work or school like they used to. Like maybe they're just showing a loss of interest and you're not quite sure if they're using drugs or not. What do you do? Well, I think that the only way you will ever truly know if they are doing drugs or not is to drug test them. And you will have to have them take that drug test right in front of you. Now, that is not where you should start. And that's not something that you can do in a lot of situations, you know. Unless it's your child, I don't think you can just randomly go up to someone and be like, here, pee in this cup in front of me. But there are things you can do. There are ways to approach the situation that I think would be more helpful than others. And I would like to go over those with you. So before we go any further, my name's Megan. I'm a recovering addict. I'm also a felon. I like to make videos about recovery and rehabilitation and all that fun stuff. So hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification, because I post videos quite often but don't have an upload schedule because why? I don't know. And yeah, like this video, share this with someone that needs it, because there are so many people that are affected by addiction. And more often than not, it's indirectly, and that's hard. Also, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a licensed counselor. I have recovery under my belt and a psychology degree, but you should definitely go ask help from a professional. Go to Al-Anon. They're a great resource. But yeah, let's get into this, guys. We all want to believe that we can spot an addiction. You know, we can spot drug use. But sometimes addiction isn't as easy to spot as we think it will be. We want to believe our loved ones are doing the right thing, so more often than not, we overlook things that are red flags, and addiction isn't revealed to you in one fell swoop. I mean, it can be, but usually it's revealed to you gradually over time as you uncover, you know, more secrets and lies and start to really put things together. So it's easy to hide an addiction from someone that doesn't know anything about drugs or addiction. So the logical first step is to educate yourself. And this is not something that you should do as a reaction to suspicion. This is something you should do proactively, especially if you're a parent. If you're a parent, you need to educate yourself about this stuff long before you have any suspicions, long before you even have teenagers. It's your job to raise these children right. And yes, you can raise them as best as you can, and there are still going to be chances that they could turn into an addict. That happens. But you're not doing them any good by not teaching them about drugs. And you're not doing yourself any good by not teaching yourself about drugs, because they are going to be able to pull a fast one on you very easily if you're blissfully unaware of what's going on in front of you. So learn about drugs, learn about addiction, learn how they act, how they react to your body, the symptoms, the signs, the withdrawal symptoms, how much it costs, what it looks like, just all of it. You need to know this stuff, seriously. It's so easy and free. Like, it's all on the internet. Just do some reading, and it could literally save your kid's life. So, since it's not revealed to you in one fell swoop, and like I mentioned, it's gradually by red flag after red flag, you need to remember that this is intentional. The addict is trying to hide their addiction. This is their whole purpose is to use drugs and get high, and by revealing their addiction, that will prevent them from easily getting high. revealing their addiction means facing it, and they don't want to go to treatment. They most likely don't anyway, and they're going to do whatever they can to continue using. They're going to lie to you, they're going to manipulate you, they're going to steal from you, they're going to gaslight you, they're going to make you feel like you're the one that's crazy, like you're the one that's wrong for asking questions. So you need to make sure that you have your ducks in a row. If you start to have a weird suspicion or something's not making sense, take notes. Not mental notes either. Like, write this shit down in a journal. Take screenshots and save it. Like, they said this, but this happened, or they said this, and this happened, or this happened, and then they said that, you know? This isn't going to be used as like a smoking gun to present at them either. This is for you. You could present all of the evidence in the world to the addict, and they will still lie right to your face, because admitting the truth means they have to face it, and they don't want to face it. So this is more for you to keep a sense of sanity, to know that your reality is reality. And it will also help you to distinguish if what you're thinking is something truly worth worrying about, or if maybe you're just overreacting. Because sometimes we do overreact, yeah. But sometimes we don't overreact and they just lie. Addiction and lies, that just goes hand in hand. Addicts do not know how to be honest. You have to learn how to separate the addiction from the person. The person is, I always like to say that when I was in my active addiction, it was like I was being possessed. There's this book by Stephanie Myers. She's the lady that wrote Twilight. I read this in jail, don't judge me. But it was like an alien attack on Earth, and they would possess humans, and this one particular lady had an alien come in, and she was consciously aware, but she had no control over what she did or how she acted or behaved or any of that stuff. And that's very much like what addiction feels like. You know right from wrong, you know it in here, but like it doesn't matter. The cognitive dissonance is just insane. Many addicts continue using because they can truly only see the negative sides of asking for help. The fear of judgment, the fear of shame, the fear of disappointing their parents, all of that pushes them into isolation and silence. It's like you can't even see how asking for help would help you. So, keeping this in mind, you don't need to wait for the addict to ask for help. Don't wait for the addict to ask for help, because they probably won't. But you also don't need to be waiting for some smoking gun or some undeniable piece of evidence. Like I said, they will deny whatever you throw at them. You need to be having this conversation as soon as you start to feel uneasy, as soon as you start to suspect something. So for me, I said something to my friend right away, and at first it was hard and I didn't want to, so I did it in a joke. There was a picture he posted on Snapchat, and I said, "Oh, you look dopey. Is that because you are dopey or because you're on dope?" And I mean, I meant it, but like I came across as a question or as a joke, and I feel like that was better than me attacking him with questions and accusations, because oftentimes they will see these questions and accusations as you judging them, and they already know what the hell they're doing. They don't need any shame about it either. They need someone that's going to help them. So instead of pointing fingers, instead of accusing them, instead of waiting for them to ask for help, just start having that conversation right away. Ask them how they're doing and mean it. Genuinely ask if they're okay. And when they say, "I'm fine, it's okay, it's whatever," be like, "No, are you sure you're okay because XYZ?" Don't point fingers, just state facts. They might not like it anyway. They might still lie to you. And that's something you have to accept. You can't force them to get help. You can't force them to change. You can't force them to do anything. I continued to do that with my friend, and once I felt like he knew that I cared and I wasn't trying to be judgmental or accusatory, I just asked him. I was like, "Dude, are you okay? Like, I'm worried that you're not okay." And this is a relationship I've cultivated. You know, this has been a relationship that has survived numerous relapses, numerous lies, numerous losses. And he was honest with me. That's not going to happen for everybody, and I'm fully aware of that. I have multiple friends in early recovery and long-term recovery, and especially the ones in early recovery, like, I really want to be that person that they can always be honest with, that person that they can always turn to, that won't have any judgment, won't make them feel any shame about their mistakes or choices, and that comes at a cost. There's a pretty high price for that. I used to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I would do whatever it took to keep them in my life, because if they were in my life, I had a better idea of how they were doing, if they were okay or not. I would happily sacrifice my emotional well-being for them, and in all honesty, I wasn't helping them or myself. I was enabling them more than anything, because you have to be firm with them, you know? You don't want to be judgmental, you don't want to be accusatory, but you have to be firm. And like I said, the addict is most likely going to lie, and that's just part of it. That's just part of it. So it's very important for you to establish personal boundaries, clearly defined personal boundaries that will protect yourself from not only being taken advantage of, but also possibly from being hurt. Examples would be, I set personal boundaries on how often we could communicate, how we could communicate. I was okay with text messages, but I couldn't listen to them call me while they were drunk or high. You can set boundaries about how often you see them, how much you're willing to help them if they're able to come in your house, you know, things like that. It's gonna be up to you and your specific situation, but I think that we need to make sure that we keep ourselves at the forefront of this, because it sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? Like, you want to help the addict, but you can't help the addict unless you are taking care of yourself. And if you let yourself just get worn down and broken, the addict will take advantage of that. I think that's like, there's a couple points I'm trying to really drill home here. You know, don't be accusatory, don't be judgmental, don't shame them. Try to be an ally for them. Try to help them. Don't wait for them to ask for help, because they're not going to, but also expect them to be dishonest. Like, that's seriously, just get your expectations set now and take care of yourself so that you can truly help them. But it's not going to be easy, and like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you should definitely seek help from Al-Anon or a professional psychologist. I wish you nothing but the best, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, feel free to hit me up. I hope this video was helpful. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, but just had a lot on my mind with this one. My friend, I believe, is doing okay right now. I hope he is. That's really all I can do. All I can do is love him. All I can do is enforce my personal boundaries. All I can do is be there, but protect me too. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Look at the little Jazzy in the background. Hi, Jazzy? A bubby? A bubby Jazzy? A bubby Jazzy? Oh, I see your tail wagging. A bubby Jazzy? Yeah.